Black Lightning. This show just gets better and better and better. Every season is like better than the last, and I don't know how they're doing that. Honestly, I thought they were going to run out of money because of all of the special effects. I mean, he's using lightning and stuff, but it's still going, and it's getting better. It's part of the Arrowverse, starring Chris Williams, James Remar, Bill Duke, Clifton Powell, Robert Townsend, Marvin Jones III. The list goes on. If you don't know, it's a superhero show whose main character is Black Lightning. He's an African American who has the ability to control and discharge and manipulate electricity. It's predominantly African American. The cast is predominantly African American. Much like the cast of the Black Panther, it's predominantly African American cast showing the life of Meta's superpowered people in a town called Freeland, where the government, a branch of the government, has been experimenting on African Americans to try to perfect a drug called Greenlight that will allow people to have superhuman abilities. One of the first people to have superhuman abilities was a guy, Jefferson Pierce, who becomes the superhero Black Lightning, and he protects Freeland. And that's the gist of it. He fights villains. There's a big gang there called the 100. He fights them. Lady Eve, masterfully played by Jill Scott. Freeland is eventually taken over by an organization called the ASA, and they claim to be protecting Freeland from a hostile invasion from a foreign country. Just seems like the whole U.S. will be involved in something like that, but they're not. Just as one branch protecting this one town that's being invaded. They're literally agents from another country entering U.S. soil to attack Americans, but nobody seems to really know what's going on there except the people that live right there. It's got a lot of stuff. This season unpacks a lot of stuff. The wife is on Greenlight, so she's on drugs, reminiscent of being like on crack or something. Wayne Brady is the villain, a very, very powerful and dangerous villain called Gravedigger. Now, when you think about Wayne Brady, you think about the singing and the dancing and the snapping fingers and the smiles, but he's dangerous. Is Wayne Brady gonna have to choke him? It's really, 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 really good the way that they portrayed him. They have a lesbian marriage that's about to occur. So it's progressive. It's extremely progressive, extremely powerful show. And it talks about a lot of the things that you would expect to happen in a city with predominant African Americans living there, with the people living there being predominantly African American. Maybe an illegal police stop, illegal search and seizure, maybe the whole slave thing, which is a difficult thing to say, but that they portray that in the one of the episodes. They touch a lot of things, the gang things, the drug dealer things. They touch a lot of things that you would expect to maybe even be taboo on television. A lot of things aren't taboo nowadays, but some things you kind of expect them to be, but they touch on a lot of things. They're bold and daring. And they had a crossover with Black Lightning where they touch almost every other DC property. They touched Supergirl, Batgirl, Doom Patrol, which is on the DCU, The Flash, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, the old show Smallville. He traveled into that world. Batman the movie with Michael Keaton, that movie. Batman, the TV series with Burt Ward, they touched on that. Titans from DCU, they touched on comic book characters that they brought to life in the movie. They're all comic book characters, but people who were specifically only in the comic book were brought across. Swamp Thing, Lucifer, another TV show. The Super Friends cartoon, Glee, was in it. The little monkey, the one that Twin Powers activate, their little monkey guy was in there. Justice League, the movie, Batman versus Superman. They touched on that in there. All of these different shows and movies and books were represented in their crossover, which I thought was, incredible. Something that I'm wondering if they're going to touch on, Lynn Pierce, who's Black Lightning's wife. In the comic books was originally Lynn Stewart before she married him, which was John Stewart's sister. John Stewart is a Green Lantern. On Arrow, John Diggle, whose father's last name is Stewart, he found a Green Lantern ring. So he's got to be Green Lantern. John Stewart, it's got to be him. I'm expecting something big to happen with that. But when I was a little kid, if you would have told me there's going to be a progressive, incredibly well thought out, the music would be on point every episode, the actors would be incredible, Black superhero movie or TV show where they touch on all of these different subjects masterfully, and it starred these guys, I would not have believed it. Not at all. I would not have believed that. Not with that cast. But each one of them has brought a certain adulthood, a certain powerful presentation of the character that they're portraying. And it's great. I think Black Lightning is one of the best shows on TV. Not even just a superhero show. I think it's one of the best shows on television right now. It's good. It's really, really, really good. Freeland has been taken over, as I said. They've got to win Freeland back. So they've got to fight Gravedigger, who essentially has the power of all the superheroes. I think he was using Superman's heat vision at one point. Superman, he's not really a meta, but he had heat vision, so, who knows what other powers he's got. He could fly. He's super strong. Maybe he's got Superman's powers. I don't know. But that is a really good show. And if you're not watching Black Lightning, maybe you need to check on some of your life decisions, because that is a great show. So great, in fact, that I'm going to give it 8 bags of popcorn, man. 8 bags of popcorn. I've been thinking a lot about doing halves, because some of these, it's teetering on a 9, but I'm going to say 8. I'll be actual and say it's actually 8. 8 bags of popcorn. But have you seen Black Lightning? Are you into the Arrowverse? What's your favorite superhero movie? The only thing that they didn't show that I could think of was, Linda Carter, Wonder Woman. Other than that, just about everything else was represented. But what do you like? What's your favorite superhero TV show? Adaptation of a super dude. Let's talk about it in the comments. And as always, if you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe. And then like.